is faced with a dam which held an ocean of storms. Your mother would still be alive today if you didn't love that band so much.
I woke from a dream last night. I had wings.
Unnecessary funerals and depreciated human life.
Thank you so much for watching channelAusin. This is the East by Southeast Spoken Word Showcase. I am Selah, and I am here with my mentor and coach, B. Fran. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
How do you feel about hosting the show with me?
Man, I'm so thrilled. It's exciting. I was actually at work doing my professional thing, and I just broke down from my boss. I'm like, okay, I got to take this call. This is very important, more important than going to talk to the senator. And so I'm excited to be here. I really am. This is
I'm
great.
really glad to have you. Carla was like, you know what? Let's add something, change. You know, let's find a co-host or something, you know? And I was like, who? And I couldn't think of somebody better. And then I was like, no, he's too good. I don't know about, like, he trained me. And then I'm going to have him on the show making me look bad. And she was like, yeah, man, you know, I don't know. And I was like, B. Fran is the dude. And
You're too cool.
And she was in agreement. And it was just like, that's what it is.
I love it.
So.
I love it. I've always loved this event. And I told you last year, I've always watched it, sit down, you know, a little popcorn and stuff. And then to see how many times it airs and always having somebody approach me the next week and saying, you know, I heard your piece. I've had people email me asking for copies of the poems, you know, Canby and Kennedy and the thing. And that touches you. And that would not have happened if channelAusin hadn't made this available. So this is important.
Well, you're natural, and you're doing an awesome job.
Well, thank you.
I hope you all are enjoying B. Fran. He is a pillar in the poetry community, in the spoken word community. If you're not aware, like all the babies that come through the spoken word community, along the way you go through him. I know I did. There were times I would get on the mic and I'd just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And he shapes you into the poet that most of us are. So if you're anybody in the spoken word community, if you're the type of person that really likes to come to spoken word and watch spoken word, our home base is Neo Soul. Look it up, look up Neo Soul, Austin, Texas, find out where we're at. It's usually on Thursday nights. It's always been on Thursday nights for years and years. And B. Fran actually hosts it.
Absolutely.
So that's why he's such a great host here, is because he's been hosting this event for years and years. And I love him, so it is my honor to share him with the Austin community and have him host the East by Southeast Spoken Word Showcase. So if you've never heard him do spoken word, this is your opportunity to catch him on the set, but hopefully you'll come out and visit us at our home base, Neo Soul, and get a one-on-one feel.
That'd be great.
You think so? So what pieces are you bringing?
Well, I want to do some pieces that are really important to me. Two of them deal with the issue of homelessness,
okay,
and just how we see it as a society, and how we are so silent on the issue, and it's right in our face. And the other one deals with domestic abuse, and they're important pieces. So I hope you guys will enjoy them.
Absolutely. So also, he really touches on issues that are going on in the community. So if you're a nonprofit organization, this might be a man you want to get at, and he can organize the rest of us poets as well. So Austin, Texas, my beloved B. Fran, Brian Francis.
Thank you, Selah.
I love you. You too.
Thank you. This first poem is, well, it's basically dealing with metaphysics. If a tree falls on an island where there are no human beings around, will it make a sound? In 1883, based on the research of Sir George Berkeley, the simple answer was no, because sound is that sensation excited in the ear when air or some other medium is set into motion. So when you take Berkeley's principles of metaphysics and you apply it to the equation of humanity, I'll offer a more contemporary question. If a homeless man falls off an overpass and there are human beings around, will they make a sound? And in 2011, based on my simple observation, the answer was no. Because sound is that sensation excited in the heart when compassion is set to action. You died less than a mile from my home. And I would put your name in this poem, but Google has not created the right combinations or letters or words that will make your death any more meaningful than your life was. I saw the flashing lights. And from where I was standing, y'all, it looked like a normal emergency. I mean, it looked like people actually cared until they saw that he didn't matter. And now there's no wooden marker to line the marble bed that you laid to rest on. I guess sleep has never really come easy to you, not even in death. Did you make a sound? Did you make a sound when the air refused to hold you like we have done so many times? Did you make a sound? Did you know that you have cost the good-paying taxpayers of Travis County $850 for burying you? And I guess we should keep this out of earshot of the Tea Party before they add another misissue to the Walk the Party Plank platform. I mean, the gall of us. To wooden box bury you in a metal marked grave with just your name handwritten on a piece of paper. God, I hope we spelled it right, because, see, that's the least we can do for the least of us. See, we have so much, and we take it for granted. And he had so little because we took him for granted, not recognizing that we will all go to the grave with the same thing that he did. Nothing. But I promise that before I go, I will make a sound for you every chance I get. And I will visit you, since you have gone from homeless to home with. So the question is, if a homeless man falls off an overpass, will you make a sound? If a homeless child just asks you for just a little bit of change, will you make a sound? If a homeless woman, pregnant, starved, and scary, is asking you for help, I mean, she's just asking you for just a little bit of help. The question is, will you make a... This poem is called I Read a Man. I read a man today. He was homeless and standing. Dirt shadows underscored the sadness in time and the silhouettes of what used to be his smile. He was standing on the corner of Pleasant Valley and somewhere, this sun-beaten sun soliciting crumpled miracles resurrected from ashtrays and guilt. His eyes, they were the color of stale hope and lost beer. His hands, they were tightly gripping air as if he was holding a sign saying, please, help me. I am hungry that I look in more than you could ever imagine. Please don't pass me by. Just look past my filth and your judgment. Anything will do. Anything will do. I mean, beggars can't be choosy, but I'm begging that you choose me. He shuffled backwards. I shifted forward. It was one red light and two men. His arms were angled just so his invisible sign was staring right through me, as if to say, don't you judge me. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm too lazy because I don't have a sign, but let me tell you, my sign has been pissed and slept on. I left it 3 blocks at the intersection of hunger and bad choices. Don't you judge me. But all I kept thinking was, dude, how you think you're going to get some money and you don't have a sign? I mean, how are you going to compete with the millions of people who are homeless who take the time to scribble postcards and messages of poverty on the top of the box that we get a Jimmy Choo's in, which is now the same box they had to choose to live in, or on the back of home for sale signs, the irony of which never escapes me. But then it hit me, y'all. He is the sign. He's a walking billboard. A soiled soul hanging, army fatigue, dirt scribbled, 5'9.5" help needed, food wanted sign. And I finally slowed down long enough to be human to read every inch of his worn font of a body. Son's home and self-esteem incomplete, yet sentences. Man, that's what he is. Homeless, that's how I chose to see him. Standing on the corner of Pleasant Valley and nowhere. His hands gripping air so tightly, whiteness knuckled through the dirt of his yesterdays. Today I read a man. In between red lights, turn heads, and turn signals. This hair-matted frame, handwritten, somewhat illegible cry for help. His hopes, they were scratched along his neckline in cursive lines, ending up somewhere between his heart and here. His fears hung over him like quotations, and the more I read him, the more I could hear the question marks in his eyes saying, are you gonna help me? Are you gonna help me? And somewhere between the light changing from red to green, he was changing me. Back to that little boy who only knew go and always loved to read. Somewhere between Pleasant Valley and here, he reminded me of how jaded and callous I had become. That in order for me to even consider helping a man in need, I needed to see a sign. I needed to read some witty street haiku to see his need beyond my need for him to entertain me. Well, reality is not a show, and neither is he. He is a man, homeless, but still standing, on the corner of Pleasant Valley and anywhere. The light turns green and I go, leaving one man, two crumpled miracles, and this sign, just desperately wanting to be read. Human. Some years ago, there was a lady in Waco who was shot by her boyfriend. Her name is Carolyn Thomas. She's been on the Oprah show, and the first time I saw her, it scared me. I turned the TV off. I couldn't take what I saw. And I realized she sees that every day. So this is for you, Carolyn Thomas, born July 26, 1970. That's the same year the World Trade Center was built. She was left to die December 3rd, 2003, just 2 years after the towers were toppled. And the only connection between Carolyn Thomas and the falling of the towers is this one truth, that everything that is born or built is not meant to last. But unlike the towers, Carolyn Thomas is still standing, living to survive every day. So this is for you, Carolyn Thomas, whose boyfriend told her at point blank range she had a face to die for. I thank God that you didn't listen to the 44 Magnum secret that he whispered through your temple. I thank God that you have found the strength, that you have found the will to resurrect your life, to reconstruct your face every inch at a time. Carolyn Thomas, this is for you. Your smile, it's this disfigured miracle. It's been pieced together by blessing and prayer, answer to the age-old question. What can make a man so angry? What can make a man so insecure, so jealously weak that he would rather kill the love of his life than lose the love of his life? That he somehow thinks the holes in his manhood could be filled by each bullet spent is a lifetime lost, till death do us part has a whole new meaning in the hands of the wrong man. Terrence Kelly, this will be the only time your name will be mentioned in this poem. Till death do us part was meant to say how long love would last and not how long you'd let your love live. Carolyn, I am so sorry. I can't even imagine how it feels to have lost your face and your mother by the same hand. To be scarred inside out, bullet bruised and riddled, just to have your family and friends blame you for letting him back in. As you lay there struggling to breathe through what used to be your face, desperately trying to face the fact that your father blamed you. He said your mother would still be alive today if you didn't love that man so much. See, this is the ignorance that people wrap themselves in when trying to understand the issue of domestic abuse. They blame the abused for the abuse. They justify the wounds of his words, the swing of his fist. They personify and perpetuate the psychological cycle of, I will kill you before I let you leave. Why doesn't she just leave him? This is his way of showing me how much he loves me. I hit you because I love you. How can she love a man that hits her? See, Carolyn Thomas was beaten. She is not to blame. Carolyn Thomas was shot and left to die. She is not guilty of the twisted judgment of a society that holds the 2 million women who survived domestic abuse responsible for their broken bones, lives, and brokenness. No. Today, Carolyn Thomas, after surviving and enduring 17 months of surgery to reconstruct her jaw, her mouth, her eyes, she's now seen as the face of domestic abuse. And they say that a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, Carolyn's face is worth 1,000,000, but she is more than just a face. She is the voice of survival and strength. She is the voice of faith and forgiveness. And she is alive and she is beautiful. So this is for you, Carolyn Thomas, whose boyfriend told her at point blank range she had a face to die for. I thank God that you didn't listen.